You are most welcome to another exciting review of Atomic Habits by James Clear. Right, and today we're going to be reviewing chapter 19. We're almost at the end of this book. Fantastic. Chapter 19 says the Goldilocks rule, how to stay motivated in life and work. Right, in order for us to understand the Goldilocks rule, let us examine the story of a man in 1995. Sorry, 1955. That was many years ago. In 1955, he approached Disneyland when Disneyland has just opened in California. He was a 10-year-old boy at that time, and he walked in and asked for a job. Labor laws were still very loose back then, not like we have labor laws now, right? And fortunately for him, he was given a job, right? A position to sell guidebooks for like 50 pence a piece to visitors, people who visited Disneyland. And within 1 year, he transitioned to Disney's magic shop, where he learned tricks from older employees. And before he knew it, he started experimenting some routines with visitors. And not long after then, he discovered that he was actually given to cracking jokes because he experimented with jokes. But over time, he also discovered that he just did not love performing magic, but performing in general. So he set his sights on becoming a comedian. And then he started performing at clubs, to a few people, a small crowd, and he would keep his performance very short, probably to like 5 minutes on stage. He would do that. There were days, in fact, on a particular night, he literally delivered his stand-up comedy to an empty club. Imagine somebody getting to a club and there were no people, and he still performed anyways. We're getting somewhere. It wasn't glamorous for him, moving from one step to another, doing what he wanted to do, maintaining focus. There were days that it was hard. Imagine being a comedian and you still have to stay motivated. You still have to keep doing what you do, even when nobody laughs at your jokes. But this guy was so determined. And in high school, he started doing jokes as well. He started from 2 minutes and then graduated to 5 minutes, then to 10 minutes. And 15 years later, he had become so good at what he was doing. He spent another decade experimenting, adjusting, and practicing. Before he knew it, he started being a guest on talk shows in America. And he toured cities. He rose to fame after 15 years of hard work, after 15 years of staying motivated, after 15 years of doing the same thing. Take note, the same thing over and over again. Right. Do you know his name? His name is Steve Martin. He rose to fame, became so popular. But it wasn't popular at the beginning, right? So Martin's story offers a fascinating perspective on what it takes to stick to a habit in the long run. What it takes to be doing something, just one thing, for so many years, over and over, without packing it up, without calling it quits, without throwing in the towel, right? He faced his fear every week for 18 years. In his words, he said 10 years spent learning, 4 years spent refining, and 4 years as a wild success. So the number of years it took him to learn and to refine his skill were more than the years it took him to enjoy success. Right, 14 years learning and refining and 4 years of wild success. You see, it may take you so long to do something, so long to keep at something, but when the success comes, I like the adjective here, wild. It wasn't a manageable success. It wasn't an ordinary success. It was a wild success. If I'm to say it the way I want to say it, we will say the success was loud. Oh, loud, girl. Right. It was a loud success. But the question is, why is it that some people like Martin stick with their habits the habit of practicing jokes, cracking jokes for good, you know, 18 years, or any habit at all. Why is it that some people are able to stick to their habits? We have people who have been engineers for as long as we know, people who have been actors or actresses for as long as we know, or people who have been writers, right? And then they're able to stick to it. Why is it that some people are able to stick to it and some people struggle to stick with their habits? Why is it that some people struggle to stay motivated, whether it's in life, whether it's in marriage, whether it's with work? Why? The reason is not far-fetched. Oh, thank you, Lumi. Oh, somebody gifted me. Thank you, Lumi. God bless you. I appreciate that. This feels so good. You see, I'm sure. See, the reward, the reward that started coming in for me. Wow, thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you. So, why is it so? Even though we don't have much explanation to this, scientists have helped us to define it in a way to understand why some people stick to a habit and they keep going and why some people struggle. One of the most consistent findings is that the way to maintain motivation and achieve peak levels of desire is to work on tasks with manageable difficulty. Right? Choose a task that is not too easy and not too difficult. A task that is just right for you. A good example is what the author has written here. He says if you are trying to play tennis, table tennis, with a 4-year-old, what happens? It becomes too easy. So you are not motivated. There is no difficulty in that. So you get bored very easily. Like you're just winning all the games. No challenge at all. Compared to when you're trying to play table tennis with, stars like Roger Federer or Serena Williams, what happens? It becomes too difficult because they are more advanced. You may not even win any game at all. So you get tired easily, like you lose motivation because it's too difficult. You keep on playing and you don't even win any single game. Now compare that to playing the same table tennis with your equal, your mate, somebody at the same level in table tennis, right? What happens? The motivation will be there because you have a good chance of either winning or losing. You know that if you stay motivated, if you avoid distraction, the odds are still in your favor. If you put in the effort, you can still win. And because this person is your equal, you want to make sure that you cannot beat me. You cannot embarrass me here. So you put in your best. That is the Goldilocks rule, right? The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. A task that is not too hard, not too easy. It is just right for you. So small wins every now and then will help you to keep going, will help you to sustain your motivation. That was what happened to Steve Martin. Over time, he was refining his skill at cracking jokes, right? And he was experiencing little success per time, little victories, small wins from time to time. So he was able to stay motivated. So there were just enough victories to keep him motivated and just enough mistakes to keep him working hard. That is the Goldilocks rule. So when it comes to your habits, don't choose something that is too easy. You are going to be bored before you know it, and then you lose motivation. You don't want to continue. I mean, it's too boring. And on the other hand, if you choose a habit that is too difficult, what happens? You get tired. You can't cope because you are not making any headway. So choose something that is right, and then you increase the tempo. You increase the challenge over time, little by little. If you experience a little win right now, it motivates you to move on to the next level. And so you keep going. That is the third law of behavior change. It says make it easy. Once a habit has been established, it is important to continue to advance in small ways. It is important for you to get to the point where you begin to flow. It may not be a big flow, but at least you are making steady progress. You are going little by little. So now let's look at how to stay focused when you get bored working on your goals. Right. James Clear said that he once asked an elite coach what is the difference between the best athletes and everyone else, when it comes to sports. What do the really successful people do that most people don't? And of course, this coach answered. He answered, gave some general responses like, oh, it is due to genetics, luck, talent, and so on. But then he said something that the author did not expect to hear. Listen, he said, at some point, it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day, doing the same lifts over and over again. And I quite agree. It is true. It is relatable. Who can keep at it, even when the going is tough, when it looks like you are not getting reward, when you are bored, you keep showing up, you stay consistent, you keep doing it. You are not saying, oh, I'm so bored, let me just go and sleep, right? That is it. Many of us get depressed, we lose focus, we become demotivated, we become so bored because we think that, oh, successful people must be so passionate. We think that people who are high flyers, they have a different level of passion or a different level of energy. They have a bottomless pit kind of motivation, an unending motivation. It is not true. They feel the same way like we feel. I show up every day here. It's not like there are days that I don't feel like showing up. Of course, there are so many days like that. But I still show up because I want to be committed to this, right? You push yourself, you force yourself to do something. Successful people still find a way to show up despite the feelings of boredom, despite, the feeling of depression, despite being discouraged that, oh, I'm just posting, maybe a content creator. Oh, I'm just posting. Nobody's liking my videos. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's even applauding me. And then you give up before you see results. So you never get to experience the time when the rewards will actually come because you have given up before the rewards come. Mastery requires practice. Practice, practice, practice. I learned this from, Peppa Pig's cartoon, one episode, when Mrs. Gonzalo would tell the students to go and rehearse for the musical concert. And the children will ask, Miss Gonzalo, how many times should we practice? Miss Gonzalo will say, practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing. Mastery requires practice. It will come with boredom, right? Imagine nobody wants to keep doing a routine. What we do here, if you have been showing up consistently for the book reviews, is a routine. Yet, there are so many of you who have been consistent. I know you. You keep showing up. Is it that there are days you don't feel like showing up? Of course, you have valid reasons. Oh, you have headache, you're tired, so many excuses. If you are looking for excuses, you will find them. They are everywhere. Look around you now, you will find excuses, right? But you keep doing it. Sometimes we think that we want to do something and then we get to a point where the thing is going well and we tell ourselves, oh, let me just take a break today. After all, I've been doing so well. That is it. And from a break, you take 2, you take 10, and before you know it, you lose interest. You are not showing up anymore. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We always want something new as human beings. That's why somebody will jump from one business to another. Somebody will jump from one marriage to another. A man will get tired of his wife and is looking for another person. We always seek novelty. We always want that element of surprise in life. Oh, maybe it's going to be better if I go to another husband's house. Oh, maybe this business is going to be better. Let me change my car. Maybe I'll feel better. We want that element of surprise. So we keep jumping from one place to another. A rolling stone gathers no moss. You have to keep at it. And then you get there, you discover that you are soon tired. You want something new again. And before you know it, you have done 6 businesses in 6 months. Before you know it, you have been married to 3 persons. If only you are patient. If only you can just find a way to make what you do to be easy and enjoyable. Find the way. There is no difference in the new thing you are going to. If you have not mastered the principles to make one endeavor successful, then you cannot be successful at the next one, because there are just some principles in life. It's not about religion, it's not about personality, it's not about anything. There are just some standard principles in life. If you don't master them, you're not going anywhere. So stop jumping from one place to another. Scientists call this variable reward. We just want to nail things. Oh, maybe it's going to be better. Oh, maybe that city is going to be okay. It doesn't mean that this is entirely bad, right? But it just means that if your reason for jumping from one place to another is because of boredom, you're tired, you don't have the energy, the tenacity, the determination, resilience to start something and to follow it through, then there is a problem. There is a fundamental problem. You are going to be a rolling stone. You will gather no moss. You will not be able to put something together. You can't stick to something. It's a problem, right? So variable rewards or not, no habit will stay interesting forever. At some point, everyone faces the challenge on the journey of self-improvement. You have to fall in love with boredom. You have to. Imagine if the way you change your business, we are allowed to change marriages like that. Many people would have left their marriages, right? So let me go and try Mr. James. Maybe Mr. James is better than my husband. Oh, let me go and try Mrs. Fatima. Oh, maybe she cooks better. Maybe she will make me feel better, right? How many marriages do you think people would have changed? So marriage is a good example, because we see people who have been married for 30, 40, 50 years. Is it that they were not bored? Is it that their spouses are the best? No. But they fell in love with boredom. They fell in love with routine. They fell in love with seeing the same face over and over again every day, sleeping beside the same person every single day, waking up beside that face every single day. We all have goals that we would like to achieve and dreams that we would like to fulfill, but it doesn't matter what you are trying to become better at. If you only do the work when it is convenient or exciting, then you will never become consistent enough to achieve remarkable results. That is the difference between high flyers and mediocres. You put in the work. Don't only show up when you love it. Don't only, stay consistent because the rewards are coming, the money is coming, right? Even on bad days, you show up. You can't follow your mood. You can't go, I'm not in the mood. Let me just sleep. I'm not in the mood. Your mood will lead you where you don't like. Don't follow your mood. Moods are deceptive. The way I'm feeling, let me just push yourself. Right, be consistent. Step up. Even when it is annoying, when it is painful, when it is draining. That is what makes the difference between a professional and an amateur. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. Professionals know what is important to them and they work towards it with purpose. What do amateurs do? They get pulled off course by the urgencies of life. Don't be a fair weather person. They only see you when the going is good. When you make sales, that's when you show up at your shop. When customers don't come, you are not there. You go around gisting. Or because customers don't come for 3 days, then the 4th day, well, they didn't come for 3 days. Let me just sleep at home. And then it's on the 4th day that somebody, a big customer, decided to come. You just don't know the day. You don't know the hour. You don't know the time. The one that will blow up, right? The only way to become excellent is to be endlessly fascinated with doing the same thing over and over, just like Steve Martin. Imagine refining his skills, practicing jokes, delivering jokes to an empty club. No crowd, nobody to listen. Or days that he would tell jokes, nobody would laugh. Did he give up? This is a lesson to you and I. You have to fall in love with boredom. No other way. There are some routines that you cannot escape in life. So in summary, the Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. It's not too difficult, it's not too easy. It is just right for you. And then be increasing little by little. The difficulty is manageable, right? It's not so painful. It's not so too easy that the boredom will be so much. It's just manageable for you. And then you experience small victories every now and then. Number 2, the greatest threat to success is not failure. but boredom. A lot of people get tired and they just give up before they enjoy the results. Number 3, as habits become routine, they become less interesting and less satisfying. So we get bored, we pack it up. Number 4, anyone can work hard when they feel motivated, of course. Anybody can stay in business for as long as the money keeps coming. So it is the ability to keep going when work isn't exciting that makes the difference. If the results are not there and you're still showing up, I give it to you. I give it to you. You are the real MVP, right? And lastly, professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. So we've come to the end of the Goldilocks rule. I hope that you picked something, and I hope that you are motivated by this review. Don't give up. Stay consistent. Anytime you feel like giving up, remember Steve Martin. He kept going even when there was nobody to applaud him. And what happened? He experienced wild success. All right. Don't forget to like this video. Share your comments with me in the comment section below. And please subscribe to this channel in case you're yet to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady. And on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. I'll come your way again tomorrow by God's grace as we review chapter 20, which is titled The Downside of Creating Good Habits. It is going to be another interesting review. Thank you so much, Mr. Lumi, once again for your gift. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. Until then, be intentional. Bye.